So today I will be showing you my basic bodice block. I placed it here, so it's just to show you that this is what I used to get this. I extended the front. This is my center front. I extended the front by 1.5 inches, right? And then this is our back block. So now I'll start off with the back. Now I'll be using shoulder dart. This one now, this is my back, and I came down 3/8. I came down 3/8 from my armhole, just to make the shoulder, to make the armhole deeper, because I'll be using shoulder pad, so I need the armhole to be a bit bigger than normal. So now what is right? Okay, so now I'll come here, I'll divide my shoulder into 2 equal parts. So this is it. So this is it. So I'll just to make it 90 on that same part. Yeah, little bit curve. So this is my hip curve. I hardly use it. Okay, now we'll be moving to the front, but before that also I will connect this line down. So now my nipple to nipple here, I think my nipple to nipple is 4.5. It's 4 inches, sorry. So I'll come here and mark my 4 inches. Alright, so this is so what it means is that now I'll be cutting this part like this. I'll cut out the dart, so have center back 1, then 2. Right, let me start by here marking my 4 inches nipple to nipple for the dart, my dart leg. So I'll connect it down this way. Now for my for the up also, I'll divide my shoulder into 2. From my bust point here, this is my bust point. I'll connect it to my shoulder. So what this means is that I will be moving this dart to my shoulder, right? This underarm dart, now I'm moving it to my shoulder. So this is it. So I'll just connect this point here, the back leg to the bust point. So this is what we'll have. I hope it's clear enough. Now you don't need any bustier for the front, right? So we are okay now with that. After everything, I will just close it up and open it here. So I'm moving this to the armhole. Now back to our collar now. Now we'll be drafting the lap rather. So now I'm going to mark my break point. But my break point is where my collar is going to, the lapel is going to end. Now I want it to end under my bust, not on my waist. So my shoulder to under bust is 14, so I'll do it 14.5. I'll do it 14.5 or 15. I want it to be directly under my bust here, so I'll do 14.5. Right, so I will just get a straight roller. So this is also 14.5. So what do I have here? This is 11.5. So this is my break point, right? Okay. So now from my shoulder tip here, can you see the shoulder tip? This shoulder tip here, I'll connect with a straight line to this. Remember, I came out here, I measured from this is my center front too. I measured 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So now this is my break point, right? I will just connect from this my shoulder point here, this way. I'll connect it with a straight line upward. Can you see? So this is what we have, and what it means is that this 1.5 is still my button stand. It's my button stand. What it means is that I'm just using my button stand also as part of my collar, my lapel. So now from here to here, Now I drew a straight line to my break point. This line here is called break point. So now I'll come down on this. Now this I'll be using this straight line now, not the arm. I won't be using this neckline. So I'll assume this is my new neckline. So I'll be coming in here from my shoulder. Please, you can see from this shoulder tip here, I'll come in 2 inches, right? Can you see? 2 inches. So this is the point from my shoulder tip to this part, 2 inches. Now this is my neckline. Can you see? So on this my neckline, I'll be coming down 1/2 inch. I'll be coming down 1/2 inch, not one. I won't be using the original neckline. I'm coming down a bit, 1/2 inch. So this is my 1/2 inch. So what I'll do, I'll just from this length, from these 2 inches below, this from here to here is 2 inches. I'll connect from this point here to this 1/2 inch here. So this is what I have. Can you see? It's no longer straight. Remember, these are normal neckline, 3 inches. Remember, these are not. So what I did now is I came down here 2 inches. So from here I connected to my slant line here of 1/2 inch. Here I came from here to here 0.5. From this 0.5 inch below. Can you see it? So I will just connect it to this point here. There's no. Let me see if I can use this. You are at liberty to do it the way you want. So I will be drafting the collar now. So now for the collar, we'll come here. These are our back neckline. So we'll measure our back neckline. You can see the way I'm doing it now. I'll measure my back neck. So what I have is 3.5. Now I'll come here. Now I want to mark my back neckline now, because this is the part that will go over the collar, the back neck. So from here you can see 3.5. So this is 3.5. Now I want to determine the width of the collar. So I can decide to do it 3.5 or 3 inches. Let me do it 3.5. So just be careful so it's not too big. Right, so this is 3.5. So now this here, from this center front here to this part is 0.5, is 1.5. Is 1.5. Now I want to make the other collar, the other part of the collar, the notch collar. I will be doing it 2 inches. Now let me do it 2 inches. So this is how it's going to be. So can you see? So I'll mark from this point here 2 inches. So from here I'll connect to my 3.5 neckline. So can you see? So this is my collar now. Now this is how it goes. Most times, for most jackets, this collar is always bigger than this rivers here. It's always bigger. But if this one, what I mean by bigger is in terms of the length. But if you want this one to be longer, it means this one will be shorter. So you don't need to make both of them equal. So it's going to give you a real collar look. So this is what you have now. This one is 1.5 and then this one is 2 inches. Right, if this one is 2 inches, I'll make this 1.5. So this is what I have. So my collar is ready. So this is my center back. This is my center back on fold. So I'll cut it on fold. So this from here to here is my collar. So when I want to cut now, I'll cut it this way from here. I'll follow this line here and then to this point and then to this point. Right? So this is our notch collar. So this is all for this part of the collar. You can see collar is actually very, very simple, but you know that drafting is one thing and then sewing is another thing, but trust me, it's very simple. So we'll be cutting this on fold. If you want to have stitching, you can try to cut it Then you make sure you add seam allowance so that you can sew, but most times it's always on fold, right? These are center back and these are neckline for the back, and then this is the part that will fold, and these are notch collar. Okay, so that will be all for this. Now what I will do next is to cut. I will just cut the collar out. Now we are cutting the collar separately, and then I'll cut this. Remember, we've not added seam allowances to this side. Now you have your seam allowance here. Let me just add the seam allowance. So for the front, this now is the only part that needs seam allowance is just the front, and then this part. But you know, by the time we slash it open, by the time we slash it, we need to add seam allowance to join it back. Same thing with the back. And so for the back, I'll be doing 0.5 seam allowance for joining. So there's no zip here, so you don't need to. So I'll just do my 0.5. I'll clean up original back now. So this is 0.5. 0.5 is half inch. This part here will have 0.5 inches seam allowance. So this way then it will now connect to our 0.5. I hope it's clear. So let me do this. And then the back. So what is left to be added now is, once I slash this part up, I'll add seam allowance here for the joining on both sides, and then the neckline and shoulder. So what I will be cutting it now. Let me cut out the collar so you see how it looks like. See the way I'm cutting the collar. I'm following now. This is my collar. So this is the notch point. This is where this part of the collar is going to end. So now you can see I'm following the straight line, and then to this part here. So now this part here this is the part that will go over the back neck. So you can just try and see back neckline. This is center back. So this is our collar now. So when we want to sew, we'll start this part is going to end with this part, and then this is how it's going to be. So this part here, where the collar is going to end, we'll notch it. It's very, very important. Why this one you don't need to know, because the shape is already very obvious. So for this collar now, we'll be adding seam allowance everywhere. Why seam allowance here, like this, except for the center back because it's on fold. So I'll keep this aside now, and then I will cut. And like I said before, My fabric, this is 2 yards, this is 2 yards, so this is STA, we need this, very important. And then this is my lining, this is suit lining, it's not the usual lining, it's the suit lining. And this is my shoulder pad, so I can divide this one into two and then use it for each shoulder, or I can use this one. I think this is roll sleeve, we use it for our sleeve. You know that how jacket sleeve usually with the shoulder pad, the way it usually stands, this is what they use. Where we'll be adding seam allowance now for the back is just this part, this part that needs joining, right? This part would added to the hem already, and then the shoulder, neckline and armhole, that's the part that needs lining, that needs allowance. I've added allowance to this. Why on the front, why for the front, the part that needs seam allowance now, no, we've added seam allowance here and here, so I'll add my seam allowance to this, seam allowance to this, and then to the neckline and shoulder, right? That will be all for this. And then for the collar, I'll add my seam allowance all through except the center back that is on fold, right? Okay, so now I've gone ahead to cut everything, so this is what I have now. Okay, for our side front, please don't forget to close your dart. Remember our dart, I just want to show you that I've closed it. Remember, this is our dart, can you see? This is our dart, so I closed it before cutting. So this is what you have. So this is center front, side front, center back, side back. So these are the 4 patterns we have. Okay, so now, and this is the sleeve. You can see the same allowance here, the same allowance. This place is on fold. So you see all the parts I've added seam allowance. These are joining allowance. These are joining allowance. So I cut 2 of these. You can see 1, 2. So this is the lining. But for this center front, you won't need the lining for this. You'll be doing a facing. You'll be cutting a facing. So I use the main fabric as facing. Can you see? This one doesn't need lining. So for everything here now, I'm going to reduce the lining. Now remember my allowance, I did 1.5. Can you see? 1.5 inch. So now I will be reducing the lining by 1 inch. Everything. The lining, I will reduce the lining by 1 inch. Remember I did 1.5, so lining 1 inch. So I will just mark my 1 inch this way. All right, friends, thank you so much for watching. So this is just the cutting part. If you want to see the sewing part, you can leave a comment, and if I get lots of comments, I may have to upload the sewing part. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, share this video with friends, leave a comment in the comment section, give us a thumbs up, and if you want us to illustrate any style, you can drop it in our Facebook community, and they will see how we can illustrate it.